entire threat landscape as we've known it has changed drastically, and it continues to change at a rapid rate. Something like the disappearing perimeter, which is brought on by things like cloud migration, the work from anywhere, anytime, as well as the increase in machine identities, all means that traditional castle and moat type of security practice is no longer existing. And it also means an expanded attack surface. We're also dealing with inevitable breaches. Of course, we're now in a mindset where it's not if, but when we're going to suffer a breach. And of course, that requires a different level of risk mitigation. We're also looking at lateral movement, and this is when attackers are in your networks and systems and move laterally to try to maximize the impact. They can be in your systems and networks for months before we even have any indicator that they're there. And this requires, again, another type of risk mitigation. And then there's insider threat. Of course, users have been one of the weakest links when it comes to cybersecurity, whether it's bad cyber hygiene, lack of training, but compromised credentials do make up for the top cause of breaches. So with all of this in mind, with organizations looking to improve their security posture, they're searching for best practice solutions. And one of the best practice solutions that has been brought on and created action around by governments, by industry, by organizations is zero trust. And with that, the Entrust Cybersecurity Institute is excited to share some of the trends and findings from the 2024 Ponemon Institute Zero Trust and Encryption Trend Study. The study found that cyber breach is actually the #1 reason that organizations are looking to implement zero trust. This was cited by 37% of the respondents, and that's followed by the expanding attack surface at 30%. And this is great news because those are some of the greatest challenges that organizations are facing. And the other good news is that 62% of respondents are already well on their way to their zero trust implementation. Oftentimes, zero trust is a C-level or board-level conversation, and we're seeing that reflected in the survey results. So 60% of organizations cited that they do have senior leadership support when it comes to implementing a zero trust strategy. But we're also seeing that some of the top 2 challenges of implementing zero trust are lack of in-house expertise as well as budget constraint. User identities is cited as the #1 priority for organizations when it comes to implementing zero trust, and that's cited at 40%, followed by devices or machine identities at 24%. And of course, this is great and consistent with what we're seeing when we talk about that disappearing perimeter. Knowing that we're moving away from a traditional security perimeter and it's shifting to identity as the new perimeter. And therefore, organizations need to look for identity-centric solutions in order to secure their organization and mitigate these risks. Lack of skilled personnel, no clear ownership, and insufficient personnel are some of the top challenges that organizations are facing when it comes to credential management. And of course, this is quite a big risk because credentials are the #1 threat vector, compromised credentials being a top cause leading to breaches. So what this means is if you don't have the internal skills or resources or clear ownership in order to mitigate the risks or to affect the change required to implement zero trust, then you need to talk to your vendors. Make sure that they're able to help you, guide you, and provide the certain technologies and structure required to implement zero trust efficiently. To read the full report and see all the findings, please visit the Entrust Cybersecurity Institute to read the 2024 Ponemon Zero Trust and Encryption Trend Study.